Thanks for joining us. I'd like to introduce somebody who was very instrumental in the creation and maintenance of Xena, Warrior Princess. Miss Liz Friedman, my sounding board and inspiration, litmus paper, supervising producer, co-executive producer, great force in helping to guide Xena.
Hi, I'm R.J. Stewart. I'm going to do the commentary on the Furies.
And this is Rob Tappert, as you know.
Hear me, gods and goddesses. Xena, warrior princess, committed a terrible crime. She will be punished by persecution and madness.
Many of the the characters in the Greek mythology were driven mad by the gods messing with them. And of course, we start with a little sex.
This is a good way to open an episode.
Why is that, Liz?
Well, it's a little like a prehistoric strip club. I actually think this scene is mainly in so that RJ could write off all the times he went to strip clubs on his taxes. So these are the Furies.
Furiously wild dancers
Yeah,
like that.
That's right.
Ares' main gripe against Xena is that she didn't love him the way he loves her, although obviously he expresses his love in a very bizarre way.
You know, the one thing costumes were great at was finding ways to attach things to women's bosoms so they didn't fall off. Among the many things.
I think one time Eric Grunderman, the line producer, added up the number of breast push-ups that we'd used. Wasn't it, you know, just hundreds of thousands?
Probably.
Yeah.
Holy fright, Liz, I can't believe this got on television now that I see it.
It's one of our smuttier moments, but there were many, really. Oh, Kevin Smith, so great.
Yep. I don't know, would you say that Ares is a stalker?
Of Xena?
Yeah.
I think he is, slightly. You know, I mean, he doesn't have to lurk pathetically, being that he's a god and all. But, yeah, he's a little obsessed.
You think so?
I think so.
Oh, well.
I mean...
It always worked for me.
One of the things that we stumbled on in the process is, what I really tried to do in a lot of the episodes was to have our superheroes, our heroes who are superhuman in their ability to fight and battle the odds, to do things that we all recognize from our everyday life. And here they're doing a foot race, but of course they do it as only Xena could do it. And she won.
Okay, cheating's an overstatement.
Insanity, sweet illusion, with the poison of delusion. To Xena's hate.
The costumers, of course, knew what they were doing. She went on to do Lord of the Rings, right?
Uh-oh, here come the Stooges sound effects.
This is when, see, when you go crazy, at least if you're driven crazy by the Furies, apparently you fight like the Three Stooges.
Nothing wrong with the Stooges.
Nothing wrong with that. Actually, when in these Three Stooges moments is one of the rare moments where I feel like I see Lucy creeping through. There's something about that, you know, that goofy sensibility that's it's just her.
Prop man throwing.
I love that.
I love the smell of warrior sweat in the morning.
Coming up here, that was what the studio got on us. That shot where she's coming at Draco to kiss him. Do you remember the studio said, you can't have that shot in. It looks like she's about to kiss a woman. And because her and Gabrielle are traveling together, everyone's going to think they're lesbians. And I said, you guys are crazy. No one's going to think they're lesbians. Apparently, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
There you go. Nor did the studio, though.
That's true. Well, they assumed that people thinking they were lesbians was a bad thing.
Ah.
Xena, you're acting really strange.
Don't be ridiculous, Mavis. Hello,
Why did she start calling Gabrielle Mavis?
I don't know. That was a total Lucy.
What do you think?
I think we have a serious problem here, Xena.
I could lose the daisies.
It's
You know, the odd thing is there's really no place for, there's no female comedians shows, really. There's sitcoms.
There's sitcoms. Why, other than our our crass tendencies, does Xena take off her clothes here?
Why? Because Xena would never do that, and it leaves her totally exposed and vulnerable.
Ooh, that's a very good answer.
Yep.
I do think that some of the reason there was a mixed reaction to this episode is that it starts off feeling like it's going to be a full-on comedy, and then it gets much darker as it goes along.
Look at you. The guilt, the shame, it's stamped on your face as clear as mud.
One of the running themes of the character of Xena is she's tormented by guilt. In an episode I wrote in the first season, we learned that she, by accidentally, caused Callisto's town to burn down and created a monster out of Callisto.
Can't you see that women and children, they have crucified the women and children?
And here she's sort of reversing the guilt on the people. She, of course, is the one that's killed women and children, and she's now projecting that guilt onto these people that she's met. It's sort of a, in her madness, she's trying to sort of rewrite herself, to recreate herself, because she's trying to find her center. And there she recognizes where she's at.
No. We'll get through this.
Whenever Xena was in trouble, you really bought Renee's or Gabrielle's intense care for her. That was something that, I mean, Renee does everything great, but that was really something you bought in her, her care for her friend. So we could really build on that to create episodes that would bring them apart, bring them back together.
Previous to this, had Xena thought her father was alive?
In Ties That Bind, yes, she assumed her father was alive, and that even that Tim was that her father.
Right, right.
And then, and we said it wasn't him.
Right, and then we left it. So that's basically Xena learning for a fact that her father is dead, and this has some great Samocam, Evil Dead stuff in it.
My wife is a therapist, a psychologist, and she's worked with insanity. And a lot of this is based on actual experiences that schizophrenics experience, certainly hallucination being one of it. Probably no one in history has had all of the attributes of madness on one nightmare day, but then again, this is Ares orchestrating it, and Xena, you need that kind of intense pressure on her psyche to affect Xena Warrior Princess.
Reused effects from Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
That's right, it's a Hydra. This is one of those rare moments where, boy, you just wish this had been a night scene.
Right.
Just because of the realities of TV scheduling, we couldn't do that.
That's right. We seldom did night scenes because we had turnaround problems coming off of Friday nights and actor turnarounds and all those production problems. So unless it was the New Zealand winter where it was dark by 5:30 and you'd
Right.
shoot until 8 or something, we never did nights.
Right, so basically if you watch carefully, if it's a night scene, you're going to be in an interior.
That's right.
Or else it's a campfire, in which case we built that forest clearing on a stage and faked it.
It's me, it's Gabrielle. Now put that down.
Filling the fantasies of many, Xena ties Gabrielle up, then ruining those fantasies, she leaves.
Huh. I never even thought about that.
Now to the gods. We are nothing but dirty little beetles. And they'll kill us for their sport.
There was a playwright in England in the 1600s named William Shakespeare, who clearly had access to the scrolls of the bard Gabrielle, because he put a line very similar to that in his work. King Lear, his line was, "We are to the gods as flies to wanton boys, they kill us for their sport." And as you see, it was actually Gabrielle who recorded Xena saying that many years ago.
You behave or you don't get to
This is very funny.